Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I was up in Talamban, kind of on the north side of Cebu City area. Went up there to meet with an expat and look around a subdivision, Greenwood subdivision, I believe. Big area, still a lot of lots up there. Houses and lots for sale. Anyway, this was, they were going to take me all the way back down into Cebu City in their van. I said, no. This is an opportunity I don't get very often. I want to walk quite a ways, so I had them drop me off down the road a bit. I walked quite a ways. There's a subdivision, big subdivision back up in there, and walked quite a ways, and then a couple kilometers at least, a mile or two, and I found these guys. They were sitting on the corner, habal drivers, motorbike taxis, and chatted with them just a little bit, and then in fact I kind of waved to them as I walked by. And stopped, thought about it a little bit. I might as well get a ride. This is going to be a very long walk, and probably get a lot of the same video back in the motorbike. So I asked them how much to J Center Mall in Mandaue City. They quoted me right off. They quoted me 100 pesos, which I thought was very, very fair. $2 US about. And so I said, all right, let's go. And they gave me a helmet. Now there's some motorbike taxi companies, these guys are all independent, that you have to furnish your own helmet. And that's a good idea anyway, to carry your own helmet. If you aren't planning on using a motorbike taxi, of course you can always jump in a taxi. But anyway, I donned the helmet and off we went. And this is that ride. You get a little bit of a look at a different part of Cebu. Cebu City metro area. Talamban is part of that metropolitan area. There's a lot of developments up there, subdivisions, older ones, newer ones, on the side in the foothills. They have a couple of malls up in Talamban area, Gaisano Mall, Gaisano Grand Mall, a couple of them, and other little shops, strip malls, little partial block area with lots of stores, various hardware stores. They've got their Home Depot here. When I first came here, I was looking for some lumber. The second place I lived, I was going to build myself a sunshade out on my balcony, and I found listed online Home Depot. And it wasn't that far from me. I started walking up in Cebu by a tea park, and couldn't find the place. It wasn't where it was marked on the Google map, which is not unusual. Did not have the right locations marked. You're off to the left, Savers Depot, kind of a department store type place, I think. Not sure if that's owned by SM, not sure. Anyway, vehicles, especially motorbikes, if there's an inch, they take that inch, and they will use oncoming traffic lanes. You can see here, the lane isn't even marked. And unlike the USA and many parts of the world, people actually will give way. They will get over and allow other vehicles. They will, if there's 2 lanes, they will make 3 or 4 lanes out of that. Of course, the problem comes when people park in one of them lanes. Lanes that aren't lanes anyway. And here you've got a little bit of a lane marking, but in the Philippines, lane lines are suggestions at the very most, and you'll see people straddling that lane line. It'll drive you nuts if you're used to driving in a country that has lots of rules and then have lots of police that enforce those rules. I tried to talk to this driver, and he was a pretty safe driver. Made some good time. He said he did not speak English, and he didn't answer me. When I finally got off down at J Center Mall, I was able to find out that he was buying the motorbike on credit. He was paying $3,500 a month for 3 years, 36 months. So that adds up. I think that comes out to about 126,000 pesos versus he could have bought it for cash for somewhere between 60 and 70,000 probably. So a lot of high interest rate there, I guess. There's a Gaisano Ron Mall there, right to the right there. You will also find, I think, real close to this area, there's a decent-sized public market. Then you'll find lots of local produce markets, produce and meat markets in neighborhoods. So once you go into an area, you just start asking around if that's what you want to use, and you can often get fresher produce than grocery stores, and prices are lower if you want to go in there. And, some of the produce is seasonal, of course. Some of it is imported, and what you'll find is some of it's not as pretty as a lot of the stuff you see in the U.S. and the grocery stores in other countries, and even here, the big grocery stores, they do a pretty good job of cosmetically putting everything out, arranging things. Let me talk about, I'm going to just touch on housing a little bit. We're in this present crisis around the world, worldwide recession, pretty much. And looking forward, many of you too have seen many things happen throughout your lifetimes. You've seen recessions, you've seen recoveries, you've seen housing crashes, you've seen them come back, prices go to record levels. Here in Southeast Asia, in general, the prices have been they've been depressed during this present crisis. There are people who are going to hold the price and wait for the recovery and try to get their top price again for sale or for rents. They've got money and they can afford to do that without doubt. There are other people who are in dire straits. They've lost their job, some of their income, and they need to sell and or rent their units out, so there are a lot of motivated things out there. It's basically as a buyer's market. It's a matter of finding those markets. But there are a couple things I think we can look at long term. Long term, the Philippines is going to remain a top hotspot for people and companies coming in to visit as tourists, as expats, companies to come in. You've got a relatively low-cost, English-speaking labor force here, and they're trying to reduce the bureaucracy that keeps so many companies from coming here. There's a lot of competition among various companies to bring companies, more jobs in. They are loosening up some of the foreign ownership criteria and allowing, they're going to, I don't know what the process, the completion date of all these new laws are, but they are loosening up some sectors of the economy for greater foreign ownership of businesses. So that should spur the economy a little bit. And reducing the bureaucracy a bit. Oh, that's a tough one. Been in business, you've gone through all those permitting processes, know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about expats who have and or had businesses and heard some of those stories. Now, I will admit to having missed a number of good buying opportunities over the years. Back in mid-1970s, I was out of college, and I was in marketing. Some of my customers were developers, construction companies. and industrial companies, and I had a contractor tell me, we can't believe how much money we're getting for these houses. They're not worth it. That's where I think houses were averaging maybe $30,000 US to buy a house. Subdivision take place, and so I said, well, maybe they'll come down. So I didn't buy it that time. They kept going up and up and up and up until I think maybe a recession in the mid-1980s. And without going into all the details, this last housing crisis, 2008, prices dropped drastically in the U.S., many parts of the world. Big financial crisis. People were buying. People who didn't have much income, didn't have credit. Everybody was buying, hoping to flip a house, make a lot of money. The banks were making money. The realtors were making money. People buying and selling houses were making money. And you know, there's a limit to how high things can go. Wages were not going up proportionately. And I had a buddy bought what had been a $60,000 condominium. He had bought it for about less than $25,000. Just recently sold it for over $100,000 in 4 days in Phoenix, Arizona. And I should have bought a couple properties back then. What I did with my, I was helping bail out a couple family members, which I should, in retrospect, probably shouldn't have done. I should have put the pressure on them to figure out a way to survive that, because that would have put my retirement situation in much better lot. And if you're looking long term, if you have opportunities where prices are depressed and you have money, if you don't have money, you should start thinking and trying to plan ahead for those kind of things. So when opportunities present themselves, you can take advantage. A recovery will come again. I know all the various recessions I have been through. I always thought it would take much longer for the recovery to happen, and I was often involved in industry that were hit hard by those recessions, and I was always surprised that how quickly the economy came back and business came back and my income started going up again, because I was partially based on salary, commission, these things. Anyway, cutting down some back roads. I wasn't quite certain where this guy was going. If he, in fact, for a few minutes, I thought maybe he thought I wanted to go someplace other than what I told him. I actually had told his buddies there where I wanted to go, and they talked to him in Messiah, take him to such and such place. And I didn't hear that conversation. So I was a little bit lost. Wasn't really afraid. If he takes me and tries to drop me off someplace I don't want to be, I'll just tell him, you know, this is where I want to go. Anyway, these back roads can often get a lot of traffic, a lot of warehouses back in here. Cebu City, Mandaue City is a big shipping port. A lot of containers come and go out of here. But anyway, the recovery will come, and a couple people have commented on the channel. I don't think anything that it will ever get back to the way it used to be, and that could be correct. But there will be a recovery. There will be, prices will increase. I don't think they had a low vacancy rate in condos and Airbnb and hotels before this crisis, and could very possibly be another year, but we'll just have to wait and see and do the best that we can. And here we're coming in kind of the back way into J Center Mall.
You are an expert. Okay. You are an expert.
So I gave him 150 pesos instead of the agreed upon 100 pesos that right away they initially quoted me. I think that's a fair price. He did a really good job. They didn't try to cheat me. That's the big thing. if a driver quotes me a fair price up front, I almost always pay them extra. And I tell them it's because you didn't try to gouge me, you didn't try to cheat me with the price. So I appreciate that, you being fair and honest. I have lots more videos to come, including housing videos, a lot of editing to do, and sometimes I've got a lot more video that I take than I have time to do the editing, so it all takes time. And anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.